Welcome to Ric's Corner. The man, the myth, the legend. Now on with the show.
Well, hello. Welcome to Ric's Corner. I've had a lot of people write into me and I tell them that, I've been a little under the weather with this leg and I can't get guests all the time. They said, that's okay. We want to hear your stories. I've got so many stories that I could go on forever. And they're good stories. And they're fun. So I'm going to give you one today. Actually, kind of carries me to my days of a rock band and wrestling and bodybuilding and how it started. Because there's a lot of funny characters I've met. There's a lot of funny situations I've had. So I'm going to start with back in high school when I started working out at the YMCA. I think it was like the only gym in town, and the weight room wasn't the greatest. But I had joined and I thought, well, okay, I'm going to start working out a little bit and I'll make some progress and I'll get some muscle. It was a messy weight room. There were weights everywhere. Things were broken, but I made it work for me. And my friends that I would hang out with would say, okay, we're going out Friday night, so let's go do this and this and this. But I said, I'll have to wait till after my workout because I was really dedicated. I'd sometimes get done at 10 o'clock. They'd turn the lights off in the Y and I'm still up there working out. I said, hey, hold on, I haven't left yet. They said, so okay, we'll turn the lights out when you leave. I stayed there a little bit longer. And then I'd meet up with my friends. Drinking, yeah, we had beers now and then. I didn't go overboard with it, but we did what we did. I remember one night we were at a place called Stan's Drive-In. It's like American Graffiti. And someone started a fight with a friend of mine. I went to help him out and 5 guys got out of the car and the 2 of us cleaned those guys out so bad it was pathetic. We ended up going to a gas station getting the blood off of us and it wasn't even my blood. Thank God for that. But this is part of growing up and I've been working out quite a bit. Some guy called me fat, and I said, fat? I had a real thick sweater on. I'm hardly fat. So I had to prove my point. But I worked out. I didn't have a routine. I just kind of went to the gym and did things I thought I saw in magazines, bench presses and standing presses and barbell curls. And there wasn't a lot of dumbbells. There were no pulley machines, so you had to really get by with what you just could do. But even at that, I made good progress. I started drinking more milk because milk put size on, and I didn't know much about diet. And I'd eat spaghetti, and I'd eat meat, and I'd eat eggs, and I'd eat tuna, and all the stuff that you had to do to gain muscle. But I worked out every day. Every day after school, man, I went. I'd go home and have a couple of snacks, maybe drop around about 6 Oreo cookies, which is a true story. And I'd go and I'd train on that. And I had good progress. I guess the sugar got me going. So I didn't deviate from that. And I even went in on Saturdays. I went every day. Split it up, went every day. I had 2 or 3 friends who worked out with me, and those guys dropped by the wayside. They just didn't really, never got to them. They didn't have the passion that I had, but I did have the passion. And I remember going out on the weekends. We'd have, I was playing in a band. I was lead guitarist in a rock band. I was a very good guitarist, one of the best around. In fact, I had a deal with Capitol Records after that. And we'd play for dances, and it'd be at the high school and the college. So back in those days, a lot of you don't remember this, they had dances after the game. So if they had a basketball game or football game, everybody go back to the cafeteria at the school, and there was a dance from around 9:30 to 11:30, and I was in the band and I played. Well, being in the band and being up there in the limelight, the women come in, they see you and they say, oh my God, it's Ric Drasin, and I was working out and I was getting big and I stood out from the rest of the crowd. So making dates or having women to pick up was very easy because of how I looked and because I was good at what I did, and I was a handsome, sexy guy. I say that a lot. I like to kid around. But it did work out, and I think that the working out did help. We'd go to these public dances at the, I think it was the fairgrounds, and we'd go in, and that's actually when the Beach Boys would play, and Ike and Tina Turner, and big names when they first started out. There'd be about 1,000 people there. So you'd go and you'd circulate and you'd walk around, and you'd meet girls and meet guys, and you'd wear like a shirt that had really tight arms. Oh, the things we did just to be seen. And a few of us, we all worked out together. We were looking pretty buff walking around there, and we'd always pick up a chick here and there and end up going home with them or whatever we did, and out to the car, or you name it, we did it. But that was the fun of it all. And they never knew what muscles were, and so when they saw them, and they just, it was like they melted all over you. That was a fun time, and that was in high school. All right. Then I took a left turn in 1965 from the band and I went into professional wrestling. You know, you have your groupies in the band and you have your groupies in wrestling. So I started at the Olympic Auditorium doing some of the towns around LA, and I was in great shape. And the women at ringside, oh my God, you know, they want to come up and talk to you. And one girl gave me her phone number. She says, are you as good in bed as you are in the ring? I said, what do you mean, do I sleep well? I said, I sleep pretty well. She wanted me to come visit her, so I did. And it was fun. It was worth the time, but I used to get those proposals all the time. It doesn't seem no matter where I go, I'd get it. I went up to Oregon. I was training up there in Sam LaPrenzi's gym, and I was also wrestling at night. And the same thing with the women. Oh, they'd come up to you after the match. Would you come home with me? Would you come home with me? Would you come home with me? And it was just part of what we did. You know, it was just part of the thing. But being in shape really put you over the top. I mean, it was just a fun time. I remember almost every situation, and I'm not going to go into detail on those, but there were a lot of them. Went down to the South in Alabama, Florida, wrestled down there. Same situation. The girls were younger down there, but they didn't care. They said, "Oh, I know. I just want to be with you." And I thought, oh, I hope I don't get myself in trouble, but I didn't. And I asked a lot of the guys, "Is this what it's like here?" They said, "Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy." And if you're working out and have a body, it's even worse, because back in those days, a lot of guys didn't train. They were just big, but they weren't muscular. So the muscularity really sets you off from the rest of them. But I continued to train wherever I went. I didn't care what city or town I was in, I'd find the gym, and usually YMCA, because that's really all that was around. You didn't have 24-hour fitnesses or Gold's gyms or anything like that. You didn't have an internet. You didn't have any way of finding anything other than the phone book. So I'd go to a YMCA, and I found some pretty decent ones around the country that had good weight rooms, and I worked out. Met a lot of people along the way. It was always a door opener when you had a good body. People would invite you into their homes and see you on TV wrestling or in the mall, and they'd stop you and invite you to a party. And it was just a lot of fun. It just something that in my lifetime I will never forget. I wish I could go through it again because it was so much fun. But I have, like I said, I have a lot of stories about it, and it's just something that doesn't happen today. It's just not like that. The world has changed. Unfortunately, it's changed. I remember a lot of my friends in my hometown thought I was nuts because I was working out. And why do you want to spend all of your time in the gym? I said, because I want to look like this, like I do. And I don't want to look like those guys over there. So I took a lot of crap for it. I'm sure a lot of you guys had this in your life or from your family. I don't understand why you have to work out all the time and eat a certain way. And I would say, you don't need to understand. I just need to understand that this is what I like and this is what I do. And when I went into professional wrestling, it got even worse. Why would you pick a field like that to make a living? I don't know why I did, because I had the desire and I had the body, and I was able to make a living and make a lot of money and do well with it. So I chose that path because that was the path that I wanted. Now, if I would have taken another path, I don't know where I would have ended up. I mean, that's called the road not taken. You come through life and you go down this road and you choose it and you follow through with everything you do in your life. And a lot of it was based on working out and bodybuilding and wrestling, and because that's what opened doors for me. Now, if I would have taken the other path, I might have ended up a car salesman in Bakersfield, married to 15 kids, and being really unhappy, which I'm glad I didn't do. I mean, I don't know what would have happened, but that would have been one of the paths, I'm sure. So those stories are fun. My father passed away when I was 18. He was inspired by my workouts, but he had open heart surgery and passed away. And unfortunately, he couldn't do my journey with me, which I regret every day. I wished he would have been along my side, because I think he would have really enjoyed the things I did with bodybuilding and wrestling. My mom, for example, lived till 97, and she was always there with me. She was a big supporter of what I did, and when I started doing commercials and movies, based on my build, because that's what got the doors to me, I'd always bring her down to the set to meet all the celebrities and all the main actors, and she just really enjoyed that. I gave her a good shine of my life that I included her in everything, and it was very gratifying that I could share that part with her. The bodybuilding, when I moved to LA and I was training down in Venice with all the guys down there, we would get calls on a payphone on the wall, and they're looking for bodybuilders for certain TV shows. So we'd all go down and audition, and 9 times out of 10 we got the show with Flip Wilson, Johnny Carson, Mae West, Cher, you name it, we got those shows. And you made good money, and so I joined Screen Actors Guild. I joined AFTRA, which is another union, and that union was a good thing to have because they would pay you residuals for whatever you did. So based on bodybuilding and the way I looked, I would get a paycheck for my job, and then the other days that I didn't work, I would collect unemployment based on what I did, and then if I didn't get unemployment, I got a residual check. So I kind of parlayed it around so I had like an income from all three things. When I got into Gold's in Venice and I started training with the guys down there in Arnold and Draper and all those guys, and met Joe Weider, and I did the Gold's Gym logo, it was like, I had no idea it was going to be the biggest iconic logo in the world. I did it as a favor. I said, okay, yeah, we'll put it on a t-shirt, we'll have fun with it. I still have the original t-shirts framed in my office, but then Joe Weider said to me, you do a lot of designs, you have any shirts to design? I said, yeah, I put them in different magazines because they're cheap. He says, you got to put them in my magazine, you're going to make a fortune. And this is all from bodybuilding, don't get me wrong, it's all from bodybuilding. And I said, well, I can't afford your magazine, it's $1,000 a month. He says, you model my products, I'll give you free ad space every month. And he did. And he made up beautiful ads with my t-shirts and license plate frames and keychains and baseball caps. And this was back in, I want to say early 70s, mid 70s. I was doing $80,000 a year in sales. That's a lot of money on mail order. Now, we didn't have internet. People would write a coupon, they'd write a check, and they'd stick it in the mail to me, and I'd ship it out. I would job out my t-shirts, and then I bought a house out here in the valley in my garage. I built all my own stuff to silk screen and to make shirts and to be in charge of my own production so that I could do it faster. And that's when the money really started to come in. Now, what I want to say about all this is, what if I hadn't taken the path of bodybuilding? What if I would have done something else, some sort of sales, like I started with Kellogg's when I first moved here, selling cereal? That's the last thing I wanted to do, but it got me out of a small town into a big city. It gave me a car, an expense account, and I called on supermarkets. Okay, it was a stepping stone, but I knew my real passion was bodybuilding and wrestling. So I took that as much as I could. I made it into something that not everybody can do, and I made my life around it, and it made me a lot of money. Now, I didn't have to win contests or go into contests to even do that. It's just the fact that I had the look and seen on TV wrestling 3 times a week on all the different channels. It put my name out there, and I was able to open doors, and I always walk through those doors. Don't ever not take advantage of something, because you never know when it's going to work out in your favor. Gene LaBelle, toughest man alive, 85, 87 years old now, took down Steven Seagal on a movie set and choked him out and made him pee in his pants. This is Steve. This is at 80-something years old. Told me, never pass up a job, Rick. He says, any day's work you get in the film business can amount to about $8,000 in residuals for that year. And he was absolutely right. So I never turned down anything, but my body opened the doors. Now, had it been something else I was doing, I wouldn't have had that opportunity. And my mom used to say to me, I can't believe you came from a small town in Bakersfield and all of a sudden you know everybody in Hollywood and LA and you're seen on TV and this is your life. I said, I just was able to take that and parlay it into something. So those are some of my stories I like to tell. They're pretty good stories. I can go on about some other stuff, and I will at another time. I can go on about the wrestling on the road and people I met and all those situations, because there's some fun stuff. But I do say that bodybuilding and going around the gyms, and here's the other thing, if you're a traveling person in your job and you go to gym in different cities and states, there's a camaraderie in gyms that you'll never find anywhere else. If you're into bodybuilding and you meet other bodybuilders, there's a brotherhood. And you've got to really nourish that, because it's important. These people are family. Anybody who does what we do become family. And those people will also invite you into their homes. They'll take you to restaurants. They'll open doors for you. And it's a good way to make friends around the world. I've made so many just from doing what I do. And I'm so blessed that I was able to do that. I will never forget it. So those are some of my stories I'm sharing. That's not even into the nitty-gritty yet, but I don't want to go too long on this one video. But I will bring you more, and there's a lot more to be said. Especially when we get down to the Gold's gyms and the characters that I dealt with, and the women in the gym, and coming into the shower when I'm showering. I mean, it's like, you've never heard of stuff like this. Well, I will say, let me go back. Let me backtrack for a minute. When I was in Bakersfield, I worked out at a YMCA, and there was another gym across town called Babes. Babes was a little upscale gym. Not like today's, but it had real weights, and they had real dumbbells, and they had machines, and the guy that owned it was a really nice guy, and I couldn't afford the membership. I said, babe, I can't afford your membership. What can I do to work out here? He says, you sweep up the floors for me at night and you can train here for free. So I said, okay, I can do that. So I did. And his gym was open Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for men, Tuesdays and Thursdays for women, because back then they segregated them. They didn't have men and women train together. That's just the way it was back in the 60s and 70s. So ladies' day, I'd be up there and all these women would come up, and there were 2 girls from my high school that were, I think I was out of high school then, they were twin sisters. They were gorgeous. One of them I went out with once, and I think I went out with one again, and I think they switched on me. I'm not quite sure. But I didn't care. I mean, they both looked identical. So I'm up there sweeping up the floors, and I hear it's like 10 to 10, and we're going to close up. I hear, Rick. I said, yes. Can you bring me a towel, please? I'm in the shower, and I don't have any towel. So I said, yeah, I'll be right there. You want me to dry you off? oh, that would be nice. So I kind of took advantage of the situation and got her on top of the leg press, or actually leg extension machine. And I was telling my son about that earlier because that's an unusual thing to happen in your life, but it happened. And it was fun, and it's a memory, and it's something that I will always think about because it's a little bit living on the edge, but who cares? You're a young guy, you live once, you have a good time, and you have fun with it. Later on, I'm going down about maybe 10, 15 years later. I'm training at a gym out here at Steve Davis's, and there's a guy running the gym who had passed away quite a while ago. He says, I'm dating this girl, man, she's a beauty, and he's older than me, and she's really a knockout. I buy her furs and diamonds and fancy things and cars. Come to find out it was the same girl that invited me into the shower. She took him for every penny he had, and then she dumped him. He was heartbroken. So I kind of warned him in a way, but it didn't do any good, but I kind of knew who she was and what it was about. I never put my whole heart into it anyway, I never have. Anyway, those are some of the stories, and I hope you guys enjoy them. There's so many to go by, and thank you guys for watching Ric's Corner. I'm going to have more guests. I actually am having Doug Brignoli this week, and I got some other people coming in from out of town, I think next week for sure. And I have one more surgery on the 18th for my leg, and then I should be pretty good shape after that. Thanks for watching Ric's Corner, you guys. I love sharing these stories with you. I hope you enjoy them, and I'll see you all next time. Now you can have the Gold's Gym logo drawn by me, the artist Ric Drasin, personalized and made out to you and signed by me to frame and put on your gym wall or wherever you see fit to do so. It's a piece of bodybuilding history. It will never be duplicated again. It's the largest selling icon t-shirt logo in the world, and I'm the guy that drew it, and I will draw it for you. Just go to my website, ricdrasin.com, and order there. You can pay through PayPal, and it'll be sent out right away. And be sure to watch Ric's Corner for all the videos on bodybuilding, nutrition, fitness, pro wrestling, and anything that suits your interest as far as getting physically fit and being the best you can be from the golden era of bodybuilding.
Ric Drasin. He's the equalizer, baby. See you next time.